You could be in a rough area somewhere like on the outskirts of Baghdad in Iraq. But no, it's northern Italy.
They actually just put metal bolts, like a metal door, in front of the opening so that people cannot come in.
There's gangs of Arabs, Moroccans, drug dealers.
Ah yes, Milano, the fashion city. This is for sure what you think of when you think Milano.
Right here at the front of a bank. I never saw an entire metro station dedicated to the rainbow flag.
Welcome to Milan. This is the exact city where a large part of my family moved to from Sicily a long time ago for a better life, for better opportunities, for better economic outcome in general. And many Italians from lesser fortunate areas of Italy have moved here to live a better life. But is that still the case in 2026? We're going to find out today.
Milan, believe it or not, in 2026 is going to be hosting the Winter Olympics, and we just so happen to be here during that exact time period. So a lot of this center of the city area is of course being rapidly cleaned up, and a lot of the people that are sleeping rough and gangs of doctors and engineers are being told to move away. But don't worry, I'm sure we're going to have an eventful day showing you guys the reality of Milan in 2026.
Now the dome in Milan, of course, is probably the landmark that is mostly photographed in the entire city of Milan. But this is a new thing. I've been coming here for nearly 35 years of my life, and the dome is always being cleaned up. Obviously, you always have these types of things sort of covering for the renovations. But this is the very first time that I see Samsung being advertised on a Catholic landmark. Shame on you, Milan.
I suppose for me, being here, being in Milan, I find it fascinating when cities like this spend such huge quantities of money to host things like Winter Olympics, for example, like the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Olympics. The budget for it, believe it or not, is around 5.2 billion euro. Now I understand that Milan is Italy's richest city, but if you speak to the general population of Milan and the general population of Italy, that money could be used in much better ways. And the general consensus that we are getting, especially from people like members of Naomi's family, is that the money could be used and utilized in a much better way than on things like the Winter Olympics. A lot of this stuff, a lot of the money is just being basically taken out of taxpayers' hands and used on things that don't actually benefit the taxpayers whatsoever. But hey, they give you a good little distraction while your cities are crumbling.
And while everybody in the city center of Milan is trying to live their best fashionista life, there's many people in Milan that are not as fortunate and that actually have to live with the reality of policies that have been put in place. And those are the exact areas that we're gonna visit in this exact video.
As you can see, a lot of fencing going up to accommodate probably large crowds that will be coming here. And this central retail district here in the historic core of Milan, obviously, is gonna be beautiful. Very clean and gorgeous, because it's all being done for the eyes of the mass amount of tourists that are flooding here right now for the Olympic Games. These areas here over this diesel store are the Gucci and Louis Vuitton and Valentino. I can tell you, this is not where the majority of local Milanese people are living. No, it's okay.
Poco money.
No.
Discount.
Thank you, bro. Have a good day.
Guarda.
No, all good.
Buono.
Thank you, bro. All good.
Bangladesh.
You're from Bangladesh?
Ah.
You speak parle inglese? Un poco. Little bit. I'm sorry. My Italian is very bad. You're from Bangladesh?
Bangladesh.
Dhaka?
No, Madaripur. Madaripur, huh?
Madaripur.
Dhaka.
Okay. Outside Dhaka.
How outside Dhaka?
Italy, you live long
How
time?
long?
5 years.
5 years.
Okay. And you work, you sell this
Sell this,
to tourists and stuff like that?
tourist.
Okay.
No money, no labor.
Okay. No laboro, yeah. Life in Italy hard, difficult for you. No social welfare.
No labor.
Difficult.
No labor, no money.
Yeah. True. Now the Olympics. What do you think? The Olympics, they come. So many tourists for you, bro. Good luck.
No money.
No, sorry, bro.
No money.
I'm sorry. Have a good day.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
High five. Ciao. He's been here for 5 years and he just sells all of these things to tourists to try and make some money. But yeah, there's homeless people everywhere, and there's these guys. A lot of them Bangladeshis and a lot of them from other parts. There's also just people randomly just basically sleeping with each other in the street. Yeah, this is, you can see, it's so obvious what's happening here. There's literally a military operation that's operating in the center. This is the central station right here beside us. And it's just straight up a cleanup. But even as they're doing it, there's so much sketchy shit happening. Like, there's a guy over here across the street who is literally bags full of electronics and phones and stuff like that. And a lot of them are very obviously either just arrived, or they've been here for a couple of years, as that guy was. So yeah, it's obvious why this city is in the position that it's in. But if you're coming here and your only experience is going to be of the Winter Olympics, you're getting a very synthetic touch point of what Milan is actually like throughout the rest of the year. I can tell you that for sure. Right here at the front of a bank, and there you go, sleeping in the doorway. Terrific, huh?
The entrance of a bank.
The entrance of a bank, yeah. We are only about a 5-minute walk away from where all of this stuff with the Olympics is happening, by the way, and you can already see it. It's completely flipped. Guy going in and out of traffic begging for spare change. We just walked under an underpass there, right next to the center station of Milan, and the entire tunnel is literally lined with people sleeping rough in between the separators of where the cars come through. You see sleeping bags and you see endless amounts of horrific spray paint, and it's just completely trashed. The whole entire tunnel just reeks of piss, and there's plenty of illegal substances all over the ground, and you can tell that tunnel is a place where you really don't want to be past a certain time. And across from me, by the way, literally as I'm speaking to you, there's kind of an open air migrant market, a whole market area that has just kind of been set up on the street by migrants here.
Now, the city of Milan actually makes a stunningly shocking example when it comes to statistics. Now, in the rest of Italy, the amount of non-European foreigners are about 3%. In the city of Milan, that amounts to about 13%. So obviously the density of people with non-EU background is much, much higher in Milan than in the other areas of Italy. For good reason, because economic opportunities are just bigger in the northern parts of Italy. Now, if we look at the crime statistics, looking at predatory crimes such as theft, robbery, assault, all of that good stuff, people of non-EU descent actually commit 80% of those crimes within the city of Milan, which means that people of non-EU descent, I know I'm repeating myself here, are 27 times more likely to commit a predatory crime than any person within this city that is of EU descent. That's shocking.
Well, welcome to the center of leftist Milan. There's actually a house over here that's entirely occupied. Is sprayed across it, Casa Occupata. So the entire actual house is under occupation, and it's covered in graffiti and spray paint and different things for the liberation of Palestine, of course. Check it out. Yeah. So this is just a straight up like Antifa zone here. All communists, Marxists, all these types of clowns that are in these houses here. So it's basically a house full of squatters, people that are squatting inside of this house. Antifa, the typical sort of clowns that do these types of things. So it's loads of unemployed losers that are occupying a house that could be used to, of course, go towards actual local Milanese people. But yeah, it's been transformed into this.
It actually says here, chi compra questa casa compra anche gli occupanti, which means whoever buys this house will also buy the occupants of that house, which means obviously that even if this house was emptied, they would still continue to squat in it regardless of what is happening to it. Well, obviously you have lots and lots of anti-fascist ideas, Antifa ideas, not really, I don't know. I always find it difficult because just because people call themselves Antifa, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily anti-fascist. It's like BLM, where it's like, okay, it's supposed to mean Black Lives Matter, but that doesn't mean that the actions of those groups are actually in support of black people or black lives. With Antifa, I find sometimes it might be similar.
Oh man. Smells like weed everywhere. But this entire area here is known as basically being entirely run by migrants. So you can see it for yourself. Basically the entire streets around here. It's North Africans, it's people from all over Africa and Arabs as well. Actually a helicopter flying above us here too. We're not too far away from the San Siro Stadium, which obviously is known for Inter Milan and AC Milan. Those two clubs. And all of these areas around San Siro here, they have a really not so nice running reputation with the locals of Milan. It's not a desirable area to be in, but it is a low-income place to be in. So there are a lot of people that are sort of forced to be here or forced to live here because of the low cost of accommodations. But it is in complete decay mode here. So everything literally just smells like weed, smells like pee, and there's garbage quite literally everywhere too. There's whole buildings here that are quite literally covered in Arabic graffiti. And a lot of this area is quite literally entirely controlled by North African migrant gangs. So yeah, this is probably one of the sketchier neighborhoods that we've walked through in a very long time. Does not feel remotely safe.
It smells like illicit substances and pee. Ah yes, Milano, the fashion city. This is for sure what you think of when you think Milano. Garbage on the floor, smelly corners, brains coming off of the buildings, anti-fascist action, all of that. Usually the apartments on the bottom floor have these shutters that are made from metal. If you don't have the shutters, your glass doors will be broken into for sure, and who knows what else happened to the inhabitants of that place. These also don't have. They actually just put metal bolts, like a metal door, in front of the opening so that people cannot come in.
Really, this feels like you could be in a rough area somewhere like on the outskirts of Baghdad in Iraq. But no, it's northern Italy.
Fashionista. You feel like a fashionista?
I feel like a fashionista. Fashionista that's their life is in danger, unfortunately. It's always the Antifa, the leftists. It's always these types of zones that are the no-go territories, the absolute no-go zones of different cities. It's crazy. It's crazy how Europeans, us as Europeans, are allowing this. A bunch of wussy lefties are doing it to these types of places.
Militant anti-fascist area.
Militant anti-fascists, yeah. All of these.
Is from 2003, though it's old, but still.
All of these, like, fatty blue-haired people that stay in their mother's basements. These are the types of people that are doing these spray painting. These are the types of people that promote these types of areas. Just keep that in mind next time that you feel like you might be afraid of an Antifa. This here is the money transfer place. So this is where all of these people are sending money. All of these Sri Lankans, Indians, Arabs, North Africans, etc. This is where they send all of their money back to their families. So they take money out of the taxpayer pool here. So all of these Europeans that are paying taxes, every European like us that's paying taxes, that tax money goes into the hands of these types of people, and then it goes back to their families. So it goes away from the European families and over to places in North Africa. Just so you're aware, the next time you see some of these transfer places. The unfortunate reality for a lot of people in Milan is that they are completely priced out of being able to live in the center of the city, which pushes a lot, actually basically all of the residents of Milan out into suburbs. Where we are right now is one of those suburbs. We're in a place called Rozzano, and it's a pretty desperate looking place, if I'm being honest. You can feel it's very working class. You can feel that there is definitely a sense of community, and it has had a reputation for quite a long time as being a bit of a sketchy place, including a lot of other places that are within proximity of around here. There's another place called Chiesa Rossa, which is a large Roma area, Rogoredo, which also has a very, very negative reputation. And a lot of these areas are also areas not only where working class Italians are pushed out to, it's also areas where you will find large quantities of North African migrants and Arabs, and also Roma community as well, which of course drives the rates of petty crime up. And that's another reason again why Milan has that reputation as being a dangerous city, at least by Italian standards. If you look at Europe in general, Milan comparatively is not as dangerous as a lot of other European cities, but in terms of Italy, it absolutely is. Now, the majority of the actual crime that is committed in where we are right now in Rozzano comes down to a lot of the Roma community. It's a lot of breaking and entering into cars and this sort of thing. But Naomi has some family members that live relatively not too far from here, and they informed us just recently things are starting to be set on fire. New bins, for example, they're getting immediately set on fire. Cars here and there are being stolen and set on fire, and this obviously has to do with an increase of non-European nationals basically that are coming in at rapid rates into Rozzano and into a lot of these suburbs as well. Now obviously, probably the biggest reason why a lot of people are forced to live in these blocks of housing, a lot of these are, by the way, are social housing. In fact, a lot of these blocks back in the day, back around in the 90s and 80s and 70s, a lot of these buildings would have literally just been empty, derelict buildings. And it would be the case that back then a lot of people would have literally just moved in, squatted the house, and then people would come along and just say to them, this is how much. They would basically barter in terms of what you're going to pay for the monthly rent.
This is how my family actually moved in here in Rozzano. They came from Sicily and they just took an apartment
Yeah.
and after a while started paying rent when somebody noticed that they were there. But yeah, that's actually why we care about Europe, why we care so much, because our family members on both sides, on Luke's side and on my side, are directly in competition for the resources at the lower end, for the social housing, for homeless resources, for whatever it might be, substance abuse, all of that. Both of our families are part of the needy end there. So when people always say, oh, why do you care so much? Why are you talking about this? Why don't you just move to a nicer area? Well, this is our reality. We don't live in the district 1 that is the nicest, the main district. We live in these areas, and this is our family reality. This is the way we grew up. So I mean, surely we could leave our family members behind, but that's not what we're here for. We're here to stand up and open our mouths and tell the truth about how it actually is.
Yeah, and the biggest reason as well, I wanted to touch on this, because as you can probably see, it's not the most pleasing area to look at, not at all. If you go to the center, it's beautiful, the historic center. The same case with all European cities. The biggest reason why these people are being priced and pushed out of the center of their own cities, where a lot of them grew up in, comes down to things like the Winter Olympics, and this is why I was speaking against it. It creates a buzz around in the city which attracts people from all over the world, from North America, from Asia, Singapore, Hong Kong, big spenders from places like China and Japan. Big influx of money, and that creates demand for things like Airbnbs, staying in historical buildings. A lot of these buildings are bought by vulture funds and then turned into Airbnbs, hotel chains, etc. So that's why when you go to the center of these European cities, all it is, it smells awful. It smells awful here. All it is these large corporations like BlackRock and vulture funds. They buy these things, they twist it around, and then they just take it out of the hands of the public taxpayers that actually help keep these cities running. And then these are the places that the regular people end up in, and these are the places where people have to basically deal with all of the backlash of a lot of what we're actually talking about in a lot of our videos. So I hope that clears it up. And Milan in general, if I'm being completely honest, it's not the worst city that I've been to in Europe, not by a long shot. If you were to compare it to places like Paris, like Brussels, like a lot of the other major European cities, even Rome for example, Milan, is okay. I would actually class Rome and Naples and probably Palermo as grittier feeling.
It's so strange that Naples and Rome and also Palermo, all three of them look a lot dirtier, but the crime statistics are different. And I don't know if that's maybe down to people not reporting it, or if it's down to it not happening or less happening, obviously. You don't know. But in Milan generally has a higher crime statistic. It's number one as the most dangerous city in Italy, but it doesn't look like it. It's really strange.
It does it generally gives off a much more sort of thought about, put together vibe. There are districts, as we showed you guys in this video, that are incredibly dirty. Districts as well that are basically taken over by Arab communities and migrant communities. And all I can say is to the people of Milan, if you are watching, pay attention to it. Because I've said it before in other videos, it's kind of like a broken window in your house.
Video?
Yes. Or Rozzano.
Yes. My friends. My friend. This is
How are you?
Bangladesh.
How are you?
How are you?
Where are you from?
Ireland.
Ireland.
Irlanda.
What are you doing here?
Come here for Olympics.
No.
Ah.
Just to make video, YouTube video. Yes.
What's the name of
Two mad explorers.
wait.
Yes.
Can you write you? Because
Yes, of course.
I'm gonna write.
Yeah.
he can't write.
Where are you?
Your mom.
Oh.
Oh, it's a crow fighting.
It's a crow fight.
What is the name?
Two
You are famous or not too much?
mad explorers.
Mad explorers.
Così?
Yes.
Okay.
See.
Alright.
Okay.
I go search and I do the follow.
Okay.
You're gonna
Thank
take
you.
the video?
It's okay.
It's okay for
It's
you?
okay.
Yes.
Where you live here in Rozzano?
Yes.
It's good area. Nice. 50-50.
In the night, no.
In the night,
In the
no.
morning, yes.
Okay. It's not.
Bangladesh.
You are from Bangladesh? No.
Where are you from?
Morocco. Ah, okay.
Japan.
You're from Japan?
No, I'm from Egypt.
I'm from Sri Lanka.
You're from Sri Lanka?
Okay.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Good. Have a nice
luck.
day.
Thank you, bro. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Bye bye.
Bye.
So, nighttime is apparently a no-no. So obviously once it starts to get dark, those three guys were lovely. Obviously very, very young. But at least they probably are hanging out in the streets. So they will at least understand what is actually going on around here.
We do have to say though, the majority of Rozzano, of this area, has been just working class Italians for a really long time.
Yeah.
The majority
Exactly.
of families have been here since maybe the 60s or the 70s. So there are some migrants here and there, but it's not really as much as in other areas. It's more like rough Italian working class.
And those three guys
And those three.
were very obviously not natively Italian. They very well could be born here though.
All of
Their
them
family,
had an Italian accent.
they all had an Italian accent, but you could tell their families are very likely from places like they said, like Morocco, North Africa. It's a long-running theme in a lot of these parts of Italy, but in recent years it has been cranking up like the rest of Europe. So we hope that we've given you a little bit of a taster of Milan. It's on to the next city, on to the next chaos, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
God bless you all.
Christ is King.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.